Welcome back to Mondays with Maury. You might be surprised to know that Maury is a big fan of contemporary Christian music and has been since basically the beginning of the genre. So Maury, tell us a little bit about how the love of that music started for you.
Well, interestingly enough, it was while we were in Nashville, Music City, 1979. Mr. Graham had a crusade. I was out running errands, happened to see a Christian bookstore and went in and was just curious what was the most popular album at the time, and it was a singer named Steve Camp. And so I started listening to that album and liked his music, and not very long after, I read about Michael W. Smith. I listened to some of his music, and then DC Talk, listened to some of their music, and then Michael came near Asheville in a concert, and I had a chance to meet him personally. And then DC Talk came right to Montreat College and had a concert, got to visit with them. So it was a wonderful way to realize, to talk to the artists themselves, and then realize what an impact they were making for teenagers at the time with all the trash that was on the radio. And it was just overnight, in a way, I can almost say, then I was totally sold on Christian rock.
Wow. And tell me a little bit about how, Mr. Graham's crusades were traditionally, the music there was traditionally hymns and choir. And eventually, though, the contemporary Christian music became a part of his crusades.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about how that came about.
Well, interestingly enough, I had never ever thought of discussing it with Mr. and Ms. Graham because other people were making the arrangements. But we happened to be on a walk one day at home, and he was being quiet and in preparation for a communist country meeting. And just out of the clear blue, I know as the Lord just gave me inspiration to tell Mr. Graham that while I liked the contemporary music that they had at a crusade on youth night, that I just didn't think that the kids in today's world would like just one contemporary singer singing one contemporary song, that I thought that they were going to need something more that would really be a draw to get the teens to the stadiums, to be drawn by the music, but then for Mr. Graham to be able to preach. So I asked him, I said, would you ever consider maybe a loud singing group with a lot of guitars or whatever, and they would have their concert, and then the crowd would applaud, and then you would come out and they'd quietly sit and listen to your sermons. And he said, absolutely. He said, I would definitely do that. He said, I'm not sure if the rest of the team would agree with that, but he said, I totally agree with you as far as using a platform like contemporary music to get today's teens to come to the stadiums and then ultimately hear the gospel and respond.
Wow. Wow, and that continues even today with
Absolutely.
Franklin's festivals.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool how that started and what that became. And Maury continues to have friendships with a lot of these people, these bands over the years. He's continued those friendships. So I know that that's been really special for you.
Absolutely. Helps keep me young.
Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.